Right everyone, how's it going? Today's video is all about how we go about fitting a trim onto the front of a carcass to give it a little bit of strength rather than just gluing it straight onto the frame. We're going to be adding biscuit slots onto the front of this carcass to be able to line our trim up at this point here, give it a little bit more gluing purchase and a bit more strength, and to ultimately line that trim up in the right place. So yeah, that's what this video is about. Let's go ahead and get on with the job. So this has already been cut. This video is not about how to cut a trim, but as you can see, this has been cut to length to sit on top of the door and in between wall and newel post of the staircase. When this trim goes on, we are going to allow for a 3mm gap in between. Okay, so we're going to put 3mm packer middle and either end. There we go. Now we've got our spacings in place. This is how we want our trim to fit up against our fascias and our door. So this is a hinge door and these are two pull-out drawers. So as you can see, we've got a constant 3mm gap all the way across. What we did is we fitted the door and the fascias first before we fitted the trims. We also want to get this trim in first, this top trim in, before we get these side trims in, because we won't know exactly where they need to butt up against the top trim. So hence the reason the two side trims are left out for now. So what we need to do at this point is work out where we want to put these biscuit slots. We don't need many, we might need 3 or 4. So I'm thinking 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and 2 kind of around this point here. That should give enough resistance for the biscuits to hold the trim on nice and tight, and also to give strength, because we are going to put glue in the biscuit slots. Ultimately the glue is going to be on the biscuit, in the trim and in the carcass, giving us loads of strength. Once it goes off, it's not going to go anywhere. When we go to fit this, we're going to use PVA on the carcass, but where it goes up against the string, this is a string of the staircase, we're going to apply some flexible silicone up against that surface. Reason being is because when you're walking up and down the staircase, there's vibrations. A little bit of flex is what you need. If we just go for a solid glue joint on both the string and the carcass, any movement may crack the glue joint. Possibly, we don't want to risk that. Hence the reason we're going for the silicone in between the string and the trim, and PVA in between the carcass and the trim. That makes sense? Cool. Step 1, get some masking tape. Obviously we've got a painted surface here, we don't want to mark our work with a pencil, so let's go for around here. Okay, we want to mark roughly where it's going to be. Show you in a moment. I think 1 around this point here, around this point here, then 1 around the top. Okay, so now we've got that on. We need to draw our line onto the door basically, okay? Okay, so let me just cut that masking tape back. Could have done it in 2 pieces, but it's just easier not to do that. Now we can take this top trim off, okay? And now we've got our lines to work to on our doors, which we can then transfer onto the carcass. So we need to square those across using a combination square. So now we're going to square those across. Right, so if you don't draw these square to the line, so for example if you go diagonal either way, you don't go square to the face, your 2 lines aren't going to line up, your trim and your carcass that you've just done. So there we go, we've got a line on our carcass where we want that biscuit to go, and ultimately our biscuit's kind of going to be like that on that plane. Go ahead and just finish these off. Don't worry about being too accurate, because what you can do is when you plunge your biscuit up, you can just plunge it and move it and just give yourself a little bit of tolerance. We've already got a little bit of tolerance in the biscuit slot, okay? So when it plunges, there is a little bit of tolerance for that biscuit, a couple of mil either side. But if you wanted to, you could plunge it in, move it, albeit not at the same time, to give yourself a bigger slot, to give yourself a little bit more tolerance. But if you've got your lines perfect and you've worked it out properly, you won't need to do that. Right, so I need to go over a few more bits, okay, before we start plunging with the biscuiter. Firstly, we haven't got an exact 3mm gap between the carcass inside and the door. As you can see, it's probably about 2-ish there. Might be 3, 3, a little bit more than 3, and then it goes down to maybe 1, 2, 3, and then it gets bigger to 4, 5, and possibly 6 there. Not to worry about that at all, because this trim is going to be covering all those joints, and you're not going to notice that whatsoever once the trim is on and you're using the cupboard. Ultimately, it's just where the units wanted to go. We've also had to get our fixings in certain positions, and yeah, not to worry. So before I explain to you the difference in gaps all the way along, let me just explain how we're going to biscuit the carcass and the trim to make sure they are aligned with the bottom of the trim. The trim ultimately is going to go on like so, isn't it, with our 3mm gap. Okay, so there's our 3mm gap. We need our biscuiter to be plunged in like so. Okay, so the base of the biscuiter is in line with the bottom of our trim. Yep, you getting that, Sean? Yeah. Which means if we had an exact 3mm gap here, the bottom of the base, we flip that around, would be in line with the underside or the inside of that carcass. Making sense? So, albeit we have one that is perfect, this one could be in line. So when it comes to plunge, we could line this biscuiter up with the carcass. But what happens when it comes down here? Okay, it's overhanging the trim. It's overhanging the carcass a little bit because we need a 3mm gap. Can you see that? It's not completely in line with the carcass. So a way to get around that is get some 3mm spacers. Okay, and we're going to tape them on at the same place that we're going to be biscuiting, like so. So as you can see, I've taped on temporarily 2 packers. Okay, we just put in 2 3mm packers to give us a wide base. And then all we would then need to do is get our biscuiter, rest it on the packers. That would give us our 3mm gap. Remember, the base of this biscuiter is ultimately the underside of the trim, the bottom edge. Okay, and that means we could just simply line up our red line, our center line, with our pencil. So we may have to square that line up there so we can see it when we come to plunge. And then we simply just put it in place on top of our packers, plunge in. Remember what I was talking about, tolerance. You can, once you plunged in, you can move to the left a little bit, plunge it, and then you can move to the right a little bit and plunge it. And that will give you a little bit more play if you don't get those lines spot on. So that's what we're going to do. Even though some are okay, and we've got a 3mm gap, we want to get it absolutely perfect. We're just going to place 3mm packers on all 4 spots. And then I think we are good to go on machining both the carcass and the back side of the trim. Get those biscuit slots machined. So remember, this is the trim that's going to go in place like so, okay? So this is the bottom edge, which means that is the base side. That's where the base needs to line up, the biscuiter base. So if I flip this over like so, the biscuiter, this is the base, needs to be in line with this edge, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to line up that biscuiter so it's in line with the bottom and plunge. Remember, we've got our pencil lines here, so we need to square those lines across, albeit we can't mark the paint, so we use masking tape here. Mark a pencil line here, biscuiter will go like that, okay? We're going to flip that over and biscuit like so, flush. Make sense? Well, I'm going to go ahead and square these lines around. Okay, I'm just going to eye it up. So we've got a pencil line here. Okay, I'm going to put my square on the top, and then I'm just literally going to eye it up at the bottom here. Okay, so I don't need to get more masking tape there. So we can see more clearly when we come to machine. I'm also going to use my combination square. I'm going to put it flat, or you can use any square. We've got a pencil line here. We're going to come off the biscuits and we're just going to create a square line all the way up, just so we've got something to go by, okay? Because the biscuiter itself may block the lines in certain positions. I think we're now ready to machine. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and machine the more simple component first, and then we'll move on to the carcass. Okay, so we've got the trim here. Remember, the trim is going on like so, okay? So I've just simply flipped it around this side, which means this is our edge that we need to machine up against. Before you get going, also, this biscuiter, or all biscuiters, have got this little dial on, okay? You can see 0, 10, 20. We've got 10 size biscuits, okay? I'm going to flip that to 10 to the arrow. Zeros are the smallest, 10s are medium, 20s are the biggest. We've gone for 10s because we like the size of 10s. We don't need to go any bigger, don't need to go any smaller. It's a good average. So make sure that is at the correct position. So when you plunge, the blade doesn't come out any further. If you have it on a 20, all it is simply doing is pushing that blade out even further, okay? Giving you a bigger slot. We're going for a 0, it's coming out very small. So that is the difference. So we're going to go for the 10, and we're going to have the base in line with the pencil, like so, and flush. Okay, if you're not used to biscuiter, maybe you might want a little bit of training first before you kind of like freestyle this, because this is kind of like freehand biscuiting. Most times you do want to clamp if you can. So it's going to be a little bit noisy. You're going to turn the hoover on to suck out the dust. We've got the cordless trend. Cordless is great because you don't have the cables. But the trend hoover also. Yeah, let's go for it. I'm going to go ahead and make the hole a little bit bigger, give ourselves a little bit more tolerance. I'm going to move to one side, and then I'm going to move a bit more to the other side. So we've got a slightly wider slot from the centre line both ways. Go to our other pencil line, make it flush. Then we're going to go one way. You can just do little mini plunges. Whatever you do, don't plunge and move. You need to lift it up before you move, otherwise it's going to whip away from you. And it's the same whenever you do any kind of machining, whether it's a router, a biscuiter, saw. 2 more. I'm going to go for the last one right at the end. Make that tolerance a little bit bigger. I'm going to turn it off. That is the trim done. So one thing to be aware of is when you are giving yourself more tolerance, you're moving left to right. Remember, we are freestyling it. We're just plunging down, using our fingers to make sure it feels flush here. If you aren't 100% sure you're going to get it flush every time, you can make that biscuit slot a little bit wider, make it a little bit baggy. So when you come to put that biscuit in, it might not go in with a resistance. Ultimately, this trim only goes in one position. We've got our lines completely square and true. There is also a little bit of play, like I talked about, in a biscuit slot already. So technically, you don't need to do the tolerance thing. You could just go for one plunge, and I think you'll be absolutely fine because you've got 2 or 3 mil either side. So just be aware, if you keep plunging and you're not kind of like getting that in line with the edge, that biscuit slot can be a little bit sloppy. So when it comes to go on, if you are relying on a biscuit to have a nice bit of grip to hold it in position, so you don't want to get tacks, then just be aware of that issue. As you can see, we plonk that in right in the middle of that, and we've got a little bit of tolerance both sides. We need to move that, okay? Let's go ahead and machine the top. This one is a little bit more tricky because if you haven't got the biscuiter true and not level, for example, if you put it in here, and I'm just going to overdo it, if you put it in out square massively, that biscuit blade is going to go upwards and you're not going to have the correct margin. Remember, we're relying on these margins to give us an accurate 3 mil gap along the whole trim. So you just need to make sure that if this string and this carcass aren't completely flat and you can't rely on the string also to give yourself a bit more support, then you need to keep the biscuiter nice and square throughout the plunging process. I'm going to go ahead and do the more simple biscuit slot at the bottom. We've got the biscuit line there, remember, so I'm going to try and eye it up as best as I can with either this line or this line or this line. Painted red, so it's nice and easy to see. I can actually see it there. You can't, I can. So Yeah, happy with that. I'm going to plunge. Perfect. So let's move on to the next one. Nice. So now we've got our 10 biscuits. These can be bought from Trend, okay? And just like the Biscuiter and the Hoover. And simply place them in. You can put them in the trim first, or you can put them in your carcass, whatever you like. I like to do the carcass, less likely to fall out. There we go. You may want to use more biscuits depending on how rigid your trim is. Ours is 25mm thick, plus it's 90mm wide, so it's nice and rigid. If you've got really delicate trim and you're thinking it's going to sag between space to space, maybe close those spaces up between biscuits and put a few more in. So this is the moment of truth. I'm going to use those packers. I'm not going to take those packers out because there's no need. They're going to give me a little bit of extra support. I could probably take those bits of masking tape off now. I don't need those anymore. And yeah, we could just put this trim in place. So there's not a huge amount of resistance, but once the glue has been put in and the glue's gone off, it's going to give it so much more support over time. It will never come off. What I can do for now, when I am gluing up, what I will do is use something to wedge this in position, so I won't need to put fixing. Now I've got the perfect position up the top. I'm pushing it here, and if I just wedge a little 1mm packer in between that gap here, that will hold my trim perfectly in place for me to test and check all my spacings all the way down. Remember, this is a dry run. You always want to do a dry run first. Never go ahead with your glue first, just in case there's an issue and you haven't lined something up. You've got a chance to rectify the problem. Okay, so that is the trim in place. I'm happy. The next thing I would do, I'm not going to show you the glue up process, but I would put glue in all the biscuit slots on both the trim and the carcass. Also put glue, PVA I'm talking about, along the whole carcass edge line. Okay, make sure you put enough, but not too much where it's all going to drip down onto the carcass on the inside. Also, I am going to put a bead of silicone in this section behind here. Okay, we've got carcass here and we've got the string here. We're going to put a few blobs of silicone up against here, and we're going to put PVA all along that joint. Other things you can do is, well, technically you can, is use a two-part glue. This is called mitre. This is a mitre glue. It's made up of a spray and an adhesive, and they just stick together really fast within about 5 seconds. You spray one side, you glue the other, put it together, 5 seconds, they glue together. You can technically use this, and it is possible, but we like to use the PVA because it's just going to give us a lot more solid fixing over time. So any general purpose silicone, white preferably, even though you don't need to because it'll be at the back, but if you get squidge out, you don't want to see a dark colour. We've got a good quality PVA, nice and thick. The thicker that you go for, the less likely it's going to drip down. You've got your biscuit slots, we've already got those in position. And if you do want to take a shortcut, you can use this, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially with biscuit slots. If you are going to, you can just use the adhesive part if you haven't got any PVA. Just use this on its own and then wedge it in position, and then over time it will hold, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I think that is it really. You just got to make sure that when you glue it on, it's nice and flat up against that carcass, it's not twisted. Otherwise the glue joint won't be as strong as it possibly can be. And yeah, that is how we add extra strength to our trims. If we're not going to be machining this in the workshop, we found that we didn't want to machine this in the workshop because we didn't know where we wanted to cut the angles. We just found it's a little bit more complicated. It takes 5 minutes to mock this up and do this in Biscuit on site. Hence the reason we are doing it on site rather than pre-machining in the workshop. So other than that, guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure that you leave a comment, like and subscribe. Tell me how you do trims yourself, any changes, any things you want to add, just leave them in the comments. Other than that, guys, have a great Friday. I'll see you next Friday. Take it easy. Ciao for now.